Hey everybody, welcome back to Baseline Farms. My name is Jade. So today we are going to be working on building a stall for Miss Strawberry. A stall within a stall because she's been giving me a big pain in my butt. Look at this. Bryson was here yesterday and he was working on all of the little garden and stuff, and he did this little container. Look how cute it looks. So I just popped the plants that I wanted in here, and then he came in here and he popped them in there. Isn't that so cute? I can't wait to see what that's gonna look like when it gets super, super big. I hear John, he's out here somewhere. So my goal is to find some sort of fencing so I could put into the stall where we're doing the milking, so that way Miss Strawberry doesn't go running around and making me run to, yeah, I'm like literally running after her to milk her, and it's just silly, and I'm not gonna do that. This is what we're doing. We're going to be looking for some fencing. So John put all of the fencing up top. See that? It's all up in there. And, but I know we have some remnants fencing over there. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go grab some fencing. And you know, Miss Strawberry, she's just so sweet. She is super sweet, and she's definitely showing Rosemary who the boss is. Oh, this gate's probably gonna work perfectly. See, we have a bunch of this scrap gate right here. Look at these weeds, you guys. Do you see that? Look at these thorns. Look at that. These are weeds here. California weeds. So ridiculous. So I think this fencing would work right here as a gate because it has a little latch, and then I have two other pieces that I think might work, and if I need more, there's some longer pieces over there as well. All right, so I'm gonna need 2 hands for this, and a cart of some sort, or maybe yeah, I'm probably gonna have to drag one piece at a time to the stall, which is not that far. It's just right over there. You see that? But the tractor's all in the trailer, so I'm gonna move those things over there. And then around the stall area, you can't really see it from here, but I need to get some new cattle panels to put around the stall area, because the fence at the bottom, when we had Bella, that was Bella's home, our quarter horse. And so when we kept her in there, she really, you know, was like knocking on the fence and things like that. And then the dogs have been going underneath there and checking it out, because they used to go in there even though they weren't scared of her. She was fine. But yeah, I need to get some more cattle panels. So let me work on this fencing first. Oh, I have a dolly right here. I'm going to use this dolly. I'm going to carry the fencing over there. I'm going to see what kind of fencing we need first, and then go from there. And then hopefully I'll figure out a way. Maybe John can come and help me. And he's just super busy with Berry Fest. You guys, Berry Fest is only, let's see, we have this weekend, next weekend, and then Berry Fest. Can you believe that? I cannot even believe that. And then today's kind of dreary. It was raining earlier, and I don't know if it's going to rain some more later on today. I got to look at the forecast. Look at all this grass, you guys. When we had Bella, our quarter horse, none of this grass existed. We didn't even realize we had this much like weeds and grass. It was all mowed down by her. All of it. Amazing. She was just a eating machine. I sure do miss her though. But eventually we're going to probably put some panels up, you know, some fencing or something like that, where we could allow the lambs and the goats to graze, and you know, just kind of graze here and there, and we can move it around. So that's our goal. So eventually we're going to be able to do that, and maybe we could just, I don't know, maybe we can get some electric fencing. I don't know. We'll think about it. But first things first, let's get this stuff together, and I'm gonna move it over there to the barn. Okay, so let me just show you what I have so far, or actually what I've collected. So I went out, found a bunch of fencing, and found a bunch of parts of things that I could use to mount this fencing here. Okay, so my goal is to mount that piece of wood, this one right here. I'm going to mount it against the wall. Now, there is a beam right over here that I could, mount the fence to. But my door is only so wide, and I want a nice confined space for her so that way she doesn't feel insecure. I feel that when I'm milking her, she's so curious. She walks over to the gate. She wants to see what's going on outside, and she's just wandering around in here because there's so much space. So I think if I have Miss Strawberry in a nice little confined space, maybe she'll feel more safe, and she'll feel like there's nothing, there's nothing for her, nowhere for her to go besides staying in this one little area. Because I remember when we first milked Miss Strawberry, when we went over to Tanya's farm and we milked her, I remember in the beginning she was a little fussy, like she was walking around and stuff, and so Tanya put her in a smaller pen, one of her smaller pens, and it worked out really well, and she was able to milk her out. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So my goal is to put that piece of wood so that way it's like a brace, so then I could mount this piece of fencing. Let me show you. This piece of fencing against this piece of wood. Do you see that? I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. I'll bring you a little closer. All right, so we're going to use this piece of wood as an anchor. I'm going to drill that into the wood. I have a bunch of bolts and screws. I'm going to screw that in. Then I have some parts that I could clasp onto here, onto this fencing, and drill it right here and mount it right into the wood. Oh, here they are. Here's one of the pieces. So I have these little doohickeys right here, and we're going to slip that right onto here, and we're going to mount that and drill those and bolt them onto the piece of wood right here to anchor it in. Then I'm going to get the other piece. I have the door, and that's going to be swinging outwards, so I'm going to mount that on the other wall, onto this side right there, onto that piece right there. And I have another piece of wood that I could put on there for brace, so that way the screws don't go straight through the wall. We don't want the screws to go in through the wall. We just want it to be extra secure and have something to anchor it on, because we don't want to have those sharp pieces on the other side. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully everything turns out well, and I'm hoping that I could use this little milking stall tonight, and then we're going to see how it goes. So we're going to definitely try this milking stall out tonight and see if it's going to go as planned, because Miss Rosemary did fantastic on the stand. I thought at first she was going to give me a hard time, but nope, she knew exactly what to do. She jumped onto the little box, got onto the stand. All I had to do is get a different chain for around their neck. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started on this. Okay, so I had to go out and grab a different size wood, because the brackets that I had to, secure the fence onto the wall were too wide. So I had to find a larger piece of wood that I cut, and I have now one for each side. So now let's go ahead and get started mounting the fencing wall on this side. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna have to do a little change of plans because the little bracket that I'm using right here, it has a lot of space. It has a lot of gaps in it, and so it really makes the fence really wobbly. And I don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is I have this kind of tape right here. It's not tape, it's like a metal tape type of thing with these little holes. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to drill that onto the piece of wood to really secure it. So that's my goal. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the pieces that I need, and probably gonna do 4 of them just to be on the safe side. And I'm just gonna go ahead and screw them in just like that. All right, so let's get started on this project, and hopefully, I think this is gonna work, mounting that on there. All right, so wish me luck. Let's get this gate done. So this is how the gate has turned out so far. I'm gonna test it out tonight when I milk her, and then we'll see if it really does work. I'm gonna have to get some new latches for the fence to mount it onto the wood, just to make it a little bit more secure, because I don't think that tape is going to do well for the long run. And then I feel like I need to get something mounted right in here into the ground to make this part more stable. But for the most part, I think it might work out pretty well. So I'll let you know tonight if it works out when we start milking her. All right, so it is later in the day, and it is now time to milk. So I usually do my milking around 6:30, and I do my milking in the morning around 8 a.m. So I try to keep it on the same schedule every single day, just so that they have a good routine, because I love routines. So this is good. All right, so now we're gonna try our new little system, and we're gonna see if it works. I'm hoping it works. You know, with the whole, I'm gonna close up this barn door first really fast, just because the dogs like to run in there, and I think sometimes it disrupts them. So let me go ahead and close up all the barn doors, and then we're gonna go inside the stall, and we're going to do our milking. All right, locked up the barn. I'm excited to try our new system. So first we're gonna milk Rosemary out first, and then we're gonna go ahead, a little dark in here, I'm gonna let the light adjust real fast. And then we are going to milk Miss Strawberry. All right, so first things first. Okay, girl, come on. Miss Strawberry, come here. Miss Strawberry, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, Miss Strawberry, come on. Let's go, come on. All right, let's do this. You want this one? Let's go on this side. Let's go on this side. Let's go on this side. There we go. So far, so good, you guys. I mean, usually this part is not the hard part. It's the milking part that's hard. Okay, so I didn't get to film everything because Miss Strawberry was giving me a run for my money in that little kennel. And so, yeah, this is how much I was able to get out of her, which is still a good amount, but she still has way more in her little udders because they're not all flimsy. They're still kind of swollen. And so she's just, yeah, running around, trying to run around me in there, and that's just not going to work because that's a small little pin. Miss Rosemary did really good. She jumped right onto the stand, no problem. So I ended up milking her first because Miss Strawberry is being kind of a pain. It's all my fault. A lot of it is my fault because I didn't have the kennel, like I didn't have that little pin in there and all that stuff. And had I done that earlier, maybe in the very beginning, maybe she would have been better. But I also have been spoiling her. So what I've been doing in the past, I've stopped. And this is probably why she's acting up, is that when I would go in there, I had like a little bag of treats, like some chopped up carrots and some celery and blueberries and Cheerios with some molasses, you name it. I would mix it all up, and then after I would milk her, I would give her treats. So she got used to that, and she's really smart, so she figured it out. She was like, okay, after I get milked, I'm going to get these treats. So then she started kicking me off really early, assuming that she's going to get some treats. So, no, she's not going to get any treats. So then I was like, all right, maybe I'll just give her a smaller amount. Well, that still didn't work because it doesn't matter. She don't care whether it's a big amount of treats or a small amount of treats. So I eliminated the treats altogether. And then, Tanya and Liz came out and they literally milked Miss Strawberry and got 48 ounces of milk off one milking. So that means that she's been holding out. She's been storing her milk and keeping it and just letting me, take whatever she wants to give me, and that's not okay. So I have her in that little pen right now with some food and water, and I'm going to come back out and I'm going to finish milking her until she realizes that when I'm done milking her, then she can come out of the pen. So until then, I'll show you how she looks right now. Until then, she's going to stay locked up. I'm going to let her out at night, to go back to sleep. She's not going to be able to harm herself or anything like that. So let me show you what it looks like. So, babies are all looking at her like, Auntie, why are you bad? So there she is in her timeout. She has her grain right here and her water is in the little pink bucket. And yeah, so she's just, being naughty. Right, Miss Strawberry? You're just being naughty. So I did give her grain, and that's why I was able to get so much milk, because at first I was not going to give her grain. I was just going to wait until she gave me some milk, and then I was going to give her grain. Well, she kept fussing and fussing, so finally I gave her some grain, and then that's where I got all that milk. So I'm going to come back in a little bit and let her calm down a little bit, let her eat some more, and then we're going to go back at it and finish milking her. And then her reward is being able to come out of that little pin. So we're going to try that and see, and we're going to do that until she can finally realize that, we're not going to do this back and forth thing. All right, let me get this gate. I need 2 hands for this gate, so let me get this gate all situated. Okay, so let's go inside. We're going to process this milk, and then I'm going to come out in just a little bit after I finish processing, and then we're going to finish milking her out the rest, because I know I'm probably going to get another little over 24 ounces of milk the second time. Milk her. All right, so I'll keep you posted. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do, please like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for watching. Take care, be safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.